Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli rabbi zidni ilma. Today we are solving another paper, Cambridge IGCSE Computer Science 047811, Paper 1 Computer Systems of October-November 2025. The duration of the paper is 1 hour 45 minutes. You have to answer on the question paper. No additional materials are needed. You have to answer all the questions. Use a black or dark blue pen. You may use an HB pencil for any diagrams or graphs. Write your name, center number, and candidate number in the given boxes at the top of the page. Write your answer to each question in the given space. Do not use an erasable pen or correction fluid. Do not write on any barcodes. Calculators must not be used in this paper. The paper is of 75 marks. The number of marks for each question or part question is given in brackets. No mark will be awarded for using the brand name, so please refrain from using the brand name of any software package or hardware. Question number 1. A student has an electronic calculator. The calculator has a screen that displays the result of calculations. The calculator has 8-bit registers. State the highest denary number that could be stored in a single 8-bit register. So what does it mean? You need to turn on all the 8 bits, and then what is going to be the final answer for that one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So what is the final answer? It's 255. By the way, which is the smallest value? The highest is 255. The lowest is going to be 0, exactly. And the total will be 256. So please be cautious when the question comes in the paper. Read the question and then attempt. Part B. Denary numbers are typed into the calculator. They are converted to binary numbers and stored in the 8-bit registers. The student types in the denary number 23 and the denary number 168. Give the 8-bit binary numbers that are stored in the registers for these two denary numbers. Now, you have the working space and you are supposed to turn on those bits which when added will give you 23 or 168. So you can see this is your byte 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. In order to make 23, you need to turn on 16, 4, 16 and 4 is 20, 22, and then 23. So this is your final answer. The final answer for 23 will be 0, 0, 0, and then 1, then 0, then 1, 1, and 1. So this is your final answer. You need to use the working space, and then what you obtain is going to be written here. For 168, you need to turn on 128. You need to turn on 128. You need to turn on 128 plus 8 and 32. So 128 and 32 is going to be 130, 160, and then 168. So your final answer for 168 will be 1, 0, 1, 0, and then 1, 0, 0, and then 0. So this is your final answer for 168, 1010, and then 1, and then 0000. The result of a calculation that is stored in a register is the binary number 00001011. Give the denary number that will be displayed on the screen for this binary number. It means that you simply need to do the calculation from binary to denary. So what you do is you do the same as we did for the earlier part, but here you will be simply adding all those bits which are on. So the bits which are on are 8 and 2 and 1. So 8 plus 2 plus 1 will be 11. So this is your final answer, and in this manner you will be able to obtain one mark. Another result of a calculation that is stored in a register is the binary number. Another binary number is given to you. Give the denary number that will be displayed on the screen for this binary number. Another value is given to you and you are supposed to do the same process, and you have to add the bits that are turned on. So in this case, the bits that are turned on are 64 and 2, and 64 plus 2 is 66. So this is your final answer, and again, you will be able to obtain 1 out of 1. Part E. Two binary numbers stored in the registers are 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1, 1, and then 4 zeros. Add the binary numbers using binary addition. Show all your working. So this is your addition, and we are going to start from the right hand side, or the least significant bit. 0 plus 0 is a 0, 1 plus 0 is a 1, 1 plus 0 is a 1, and 0 plus 0 is a 0. 1 plus 1 is 0 with a carry of 1. 1, 1, 1 means 1 with a carry of 1. 1, 1, 0 with a carry of 1. 1, 0, 0 will be a 1. In this manner, your final answer will be 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. And if you have written the values properly, you have done the proper carry forward, then you will be able to score 3 out of 3. The result, now part F. The result of a calculation could be a negative denary number. State how the calculator could represent a negative denary number as a binary number. So for this, we know that the only option that is available to us is using 2's complement. So that is going to give you 1 out of 1. By the way, just recall it. Yes, Ani, you have the right question that you have raised, that if we are adding two numbers to binary values and the answer is coming in the 9th bit, then what is it called? Yes, it's called overflow error. So this is what we already know, and you need to recall this for your question for your paper also. The electronic calculator is an example of an embedded system. Explain why it is an embedded system. Why it is an example of an embedded system. So it's a 2-mark question, and if a student has written any 2 points from the given, he will be able to score 2 out of 2. It has a single or limited function. It has dedicated hardware. It has a microprocessor. Its function is not easily changed. Question number 2. An employee of a company sells houses. He sends images of the houses to his company. The employee compresses the image files using lossy compression before sending them. Lossy compression reduces the size of the image files. Give 2 other reductions that lossy compression makes to the images. Apart from size, so be clear, size of the image is already mentioned. So you need to talk about any other 2. Resolution or the number of pixels is reduced. The color depth or the bit depth of the image is reduced. The quality is reduced, or the metadata is going to be reduced. So in this manner, you can talk about any of these 4 points, and you will be able to, any 2 of these 4 points, and you will be able to score 2 out of 2. Part B. The image data is broken down into packets to be sent across a network to the company. The destination internet protocol address, or IP address, is read by a device in the network. The device uses the IP address to forward the packet towards its correct destination. State the name of the device that reads the destination IP address, its router. Part 2. Identify the part of the packet where the destination IP address is found. Destination IP address is found in the packet header, and in this manner you will be able to score 1 out of 1. Just recall, by the way, we have talked about the IP address of the destination. Apart from this, what else is in the packet header? Okay, fine. I hope that we remember the size of the packet and the packet number. And what about the other components of your packet? Packet header is 1, and which are the other 2? Payload and the trailer. That's great. So in this manner, a question can come in any form, and you can score just by answering accurately. Part C. The IP address has an IPv6 format. Give 3 characteristics of the IPv6 format. So what do you know? It has 128 bits. It's a hexadecimal value separated by colons. It's a group of 8 of hexadecimal values. Each group is 4 digits. Consecutive groups of zeros can be represented by using 2 semicolons. So this is going to be giving you 3 out of 3 if you have mentioned any of these 3 points in your answer. Now, part D. An echo check is used to check for errors after the image has been transmitted. Draw and annotate a diagram to show how the echo check would detect any errors. So you can see, what do they expect you to write? It's a 3-mark question, and they want you to draw the diagram to show that the data is sent to the receiver and a copy is sent back to the and a copy is sent back to the sender from the receiver. And while this sending is taking place, the sending device is going to compare the original data and the copy that it has received. If original data and the copy do not match, then an error is detected. So this is what they expect you to have. For this, you need to draw a sender of just a simple triangle, a simple rectangle, and another rectangle to show the receiver. The data is sent from sender to receiver, and the copy of the data is sent back. And here you need to mention that on the sender's end, a comparison of the original data with the copy is going to be taking place. And if they do not match, then an error is detected, and then the data is resent. This is what they want you to have included in your answer, and you will be able to score 3 out of 3. Part E. The image data is encrypted using symmetric encryption. Tick one box to show the correct statement about symmetric encryption. Encrypted text is known as plain text, the most secure form of encryption. The encryption key is shared with any device receiving the encrypted data. 2 different keys are used. Symmetric encryption. So plain text is completely incorrect. You know that it's not a secure method also. Which one is the secure one? Okay, fine, that's great. Asymmetric one. Encryption key is shared with any device receiving the encrypted data. That is true. And definitely 2 different keys are used. That is also untrue. It means that the only statement that is the correct statement is part C. And in this manner, you will be able to score 1 out of 1. Just be cautious and you will be able to score. Give one other type of encryption that could be used. Symmetric is mentioned, so it means you have to write asymmetric with the right spelling, and you will be able to score 1 out of 1. Question number 3. A student has a portable device. He uses an on-screen keyboard to write messages to his friend. Explain how the text the student writes is converted to binary to be processed. So what do they want you to write? It's a 3-mark question. How the text is converted. So for this purpose, a character set is going to be used, like your ASCII code or the Unicode. And then each character has a unique value, that it is converted to. So when you type any statement or any sentence, it is converted into its equivalent binary value in the same manner. So this is how you will be able to score 3 out of 3 if you have written the values properly. The device, now part B. The device has 4 gigabytes or GIB. The device has 4 gigabytes GIB of random access memory. State the amount of RAM the device has in megabytes. So now what they want you to do, they want you to convert from GB to MB. And for that, you will simply do the multiplication like this, like 4 times 1024 will give you 4096. So this is going to be the answer in megabytes from GB to MB. Now, part 2. State the amount of RAM the device has in terabytes. Now, this is your 4 gigabytes value, and you are asked to convert from GB to TB. So what you need to do, you need to do the division exactly. So your answer can be given rounded to 3 decimal places. So they have given you some instructions and they will given you the working space. So since we know that 1 terabytes equals to 1024 gigabytes, and since my requirement is TB, now be clear, my requirement is to convert it to terabytes. That's why I need to be doing it this way. I'll write down 1024 gigabytes equals to 1 terabytes, and 4 gigabytes, that is my question, will be converted using the division process. So 4 gigabytes will be 1 divided by 1024 into 4. So when you do the division, what you obtain is 0.0039, or if you say to round it to 3 decimal places, then you can even write down 0.004. So any of this answer will be considered as a correct answer, and you will be scoring 1 out of 1. It's not difficult. It's very simple. What you need to recall, you have learned this conversion, but still, if you are unable to recall, then there is a video regarding the conversion that is uploaded on YouTube. Please go through this so that you get a clear idea of how to convert from one unit to another. And you have to be very cautious. There is a complete explanation that is given to you. Please go through this so that you are able to score the marks in case you get such a question in the paper. Part C. Explain why the portable device needs RAM. Why RAM is needed, and it's a 3-mark question: to store data or instruction that are currently in use, to store software or programs that are currently in use, for volatile storage, or to store the data temporarily, to allow data to be accessed directly by the processor, to allow data to be stored closer to the CPU or the processor. So if you have mentioned any of these 3 points, then you will be able to score 3 out of 3. Now, part D. The device has a fingerprint scanner to allow the student to unlock the portable device. Circle only 3 terms that can be used to describe the fingerprint scanner. So what are the terms? Authentication, biometric, malware, parity check, firewall, input device, output device, and storage device. So you need to figure out any 3. Okay, now, you want to do it yourself? Come on, very quick. Do it in a minute. Done? The first one is authentication. Yes, exactly. And you simply circle it, and that will give you one mark. Then second one is fingerprint scan is an example of biometric. That will give you the second mark. And then thirdly, it's an input device, and that will give you the third point. So in this manner, if you have circled these 3, you will be able to score 3 out of 3. Question number 4. A computer game development company are reviewing their current security solutions. The company wants employees to be aware of how they can identify phishing. Describe the process of phishing. It's a 4-mark question. So what is phishing? It's a legitimate looking email that is received by by us, or it is sent to the user. The user clicks a link in the email, or the user replies to the email. So once the user is doing any of this activity, he is taken to a fake site, and the user is going to enter the personal data, and it is going to be stolen by a third party. And this is what is very important, that phishing is something that we can protect ourselves from. See, I receive an email and I don't click on it because I need to be very cautious. If it's coming from a trusted source, only then I'll open it. And this is going to be there's something that I need to be very careful about. So this is what is happening here. A legitimate looking email is sent and the user clicks on it. Only then he is going to be, he can be attacked by a phishing attempt in case if it's coming from a non-trusted source. Give 2 ways an employee could identify phishing. So it's a 2-mark question. He is going to check the email address, that is the email has been sent from. This is what we said right now. Check the tone or spelling of the email, because the tone of the phishing emails are not very polite ones, so you can identify very easily. Check the URL that is attached to the link, and the URL, if it's containing HTTPS, it's coming from a trusted source, and if it's not including that, it means that we are maybe attacked by a phishing attempt. So this is what you need to be very careful about, and this is what we all should be doing it, not only the company, even you and me. We have to be very careful whenever we are receiving or opening any emails. Part C. The company has installed anti-malware software on all employees' computers. Give 3 examples of malware that anti-malware software can detect. So which is malware? A student can write out of these. He can say virus, worm, Trojan horse, spyware or keylogger, ransomware, or adware. So any of these 5 options, like if a virus is option number 1, worm is option number 2, Trojan horses is option number 3, spyware, ransomware, and adware. So if you have mentioned any of these 3 properly, then you will be able to score 3 out of 3. Part D. The computer game developers use a high-level language to create a computer game. State what is meant by a high-level language. It's a 1-mark question. So if a student has written any one out of the following points, it's a language that uses English-like statements. It's a language that needs to be converted to machine code to be processed by a computer. It's a portable language that can be used on any computer. So he will be able to score 1 out of 1. One benefit of using a high-level language is that the code is easy to debug. Give 2 other benefits of using a high-level language. Now, one is given easy to debug. So what can a student write? Easy or quick to read, write or understand. It's machine independent, less likely to make errors. Programmer can focus on the problem instead of the memory or the hardware, instead of the working or thinking about the memory or the hardware. So this is going to be giving you 2 out of 2 if you have written the answers properly. One drawback of using a high-level language is that it must be converted to a low-level language before it can be run. Give one other drawback of using a high-level language. So cannot directly manipulate the hardware like you. It's not. It's not using the machine-dependent instructions. Takes longer to convert than low-level language. Please be clear. It's taking longer to convert. Cannot use specialized hardware, uses more memory, you can say it's less efficient usage of the memory. So any 1 point written properly will give you 1 out of 1. The computer game developers use an interpreter instead of a compiler when developing the program, developing the computer game. Explain why an interpreter would be more appropriate for developing the computer game. So you know the translators for high-level languages are compilers and interpreters. Compilers have their own advantages or their disadvantages. So what is the advantage of using an interpreter? The code is translated and executed line by line, and it will stop when an error is found. And it will even tell you the location of the error. It means that you can correct the errors just then and there. There's no need to retranslate every time an error is fixed. That is going to make it easier to debug. Sections of the code can be easily tested, meaning the whole program doesn't need to be written for testing. And just to tell you that normally for the program developers, when they are testing the program, they prefer to use an interpreter. And once they have written and checked each and everything, tested the entire program, and they wanted to give it to the final user, then they compile, create the executable file, and give it to the end users. Just for your information, just for your knowledge. And it's a 3-mark question. You will be able to score 3 out of 3 in this part if you have written all the answers properly about the high-level language, about the interpreter, and your marks are yours. Question number 5. A supermarket wants to start delivering groceries to local elderly people using robots. Now, this is just an diagram drawn for your understanding. Describe the characteristics of a robot. So what is a robot doing? And what is a robot actually meant for? What is the characteristic? So it's a 3-mark question. If a student has written any of these 3 points, he will be able to score 3 out of 3. And what are the points? A mechanical structure or a framework. It has electrical components such as the sensors or microprocessors or actuators. It's programmable, has the ability to move. So if you have mentioned any of these 3 points properly, then 3 marks are yours. I mean, this is what we have done exactly, Ali. That is what you remember. That's wonderful. Now explain one benefit to the supermarket of using robots to deliver groceries to elderly customers. What is the benefit? So you can see, it's a 2-mark question. It means that they want you to write one benefit with the appropriate description. So supermarket may gain more customers as elderly people would not be like it is not easy for them to move out of their homes and shop easily. And definitely this will result in improving their sales or their profits, maximizing their profits. Besides this, supermarket can serve customers more efficiently as multiple orders can be delivered at the same time. If they are in the same route, then robot can handle it more efficiently. So it's a 2-mark question and you will be able to score 2 out of 2 if you have written any one benefit and you have described it appropriately and for the written properly the right answer for the supermarket using robot as a delivery man. Explain one drawback to the elderly customers of robots being used to deliver their groceries. So you can think, why is it so? Okay, fine. One thing, for example, if the elderly people move out of their homes, they meet some people, they have some, they move around, so they have some exercise. When they are at their homes, then they have less exercise, as they no longer need to walk to the store, around the store to get their shopping done, and that could negatively affect their health. Another one can be they may struggle to use technology and they may mistrust the technology or would prefer an employee or the person to deliver it. And this may cause additional stress or anxiety, and it may lead to making mistakes in receiving the delivery. Besides this, one thing this discussing for your benefit, if the elderly people or even anyone moves out of the comfort zone and they move out and they go for shopping, then they meet people. And when you meet people, then definitely that has a personal impact, a personal effect. So this is going to be again a disadvantage, that when the people are staying at home, then they rarely meet others and they rarely communicate, and that may affect their health. Each robot has a media access control address or MAC address. Tick one box to show the correct statement about a MAC address. It is assigned by the manufacturer, it is assigned by the product, it is assigned by the router, it is assigned by the user. Okay, Ahmed, excellent. It is assigned by the manufacturer. That is the only correct answer. Definitely not by the product at all, not at all by the router or the user. So this is your final answer, and you will be able to score 1 out of 1. Part E. The robots have AI or artificial intelligence. Give 3 ways the robots could make use of AI. So the same robot question has continued with AI situation. So what is happening? It could learn the route to a customer's house. It could learn where there are obstacles on a route. It could learn to deal with obstacles more effectively. It could reason which parts of the route are paths and which are roads. It can use machine learning. It can identify the pattern in the route data. So in this manner, 3 out of 3 will be yours if you have identified the 3 points properly for about AI. Question number 6. A computer with a von Neumann architecture has a CPU, central processing unit. Complete the statements about the operation of the CPU. Use the terms from the list. Not all the terms will need to be used. You should only use each term once. And what are the terms? Accumulator, arithmetic logic unit, character set, control unit, current instruction register, cipher, decoding, set instruction, counter, instruction set, memory address register, memory data register, memory instruction register, next instruction register, program counter, program register. So these are the terms, and the paragraph is the blanks are here. The blank stores address of the next instruction to be fetched. This address is then sent to the blank. The address is the location in RAM where the instruction can be found. Instruction is retrieved from RAM and immediately stored in the blank. The instruction is then sent to the dash where it is decoded by the another blank. The instruction set is decoded using an, then a blank is here. Okay, you want to attempt it? You want to try it? Okay, fine. Then we will share the answers and see whether our answers are matching or not. Come on, giving you 2 minutes to solve it very quickly. Okay, now done. Very first one is very, very simple. Remember the address of the next instruction. So that is the program counter. So let's see, are answers matching or not? The program counter stores the address of the next instruction to be fetched, to be processed. This address is then sent to the memory address register. This address is the location in RAM where the instruction can be found. Instruction is retrieved from RAM and immediately stored in memory data register. Instruction is then sent to the CIR or current instruction register where it is decoded by the control unit. The instruction is decoded using an instruction set. In this manner, if you have spent time, and again remember, you will not start solving immediately. First of all, identify the right answers, then you can use pencil for just putting the numbers, and once you are okay with your answer, only then write them in the appropriate places, and 6 marks are going to be yours. Part B. Handling interrupts is one function of an operating system. The first part of part B, an interrupt is sent to the CPU every time a key is pressed on the keyboard. Give the name of this type of interrupt. So it's a hardware interrupt because that is generated by the keyboard. Give the name of the program that services the interrupt. So a student can say interrupt handler, a student can say interrupt service counter or ISR. He will be able to score 1 out of 1. Give one other function of an operating system. One is given as interrupt handling. So what can a student write? He can say managing files, providing an interface, managing peripherals and drivers, managing the memory, managing multitasking, providing a platform for running applications, providing system security, managing user accounts. So if you have written any of these points, then 1 mark is going to be yours. Question number 7. A theater has a microphone on stage that is connected by cables to several speakers around the theater. A person speaks into the microphone and their voice is output from the speakers. Identify the most appropriate data transmission method for the purpose. Explain your choice. So data transmission method, a student can mention 1 mark for each correct data transmission method. A student can say serial or simplex, and the explanation should be accurately written. So marks are going to be like this, distribution like this. For serial, data will need to travel long distances. That is why we can choose serial transmission. One wire is used means that bits are sent in order, or it is going to send one bit at a time. Less chances of data being skewed or less chance of data getting corrupted or having errors. Transmission speed would be adequate. And for simplex, data only needs to be sent in one direction. Data does not need to be sent back from the speakers to the microphone. So if you have written the answers properly, you have identified them properly, identification of the transmission methods like serial simplex, and then describing it properly will give you 5 out of 5. Jazakallah khair Kasira for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have enjoyed this learning. Uh, Share with your friends and family so that they all are going to benefit from it. Stay tuned. Take very good care of yourselves and the loved ones. May Allah bless you. May Allah help you. Allah Hafiz.